Hello everyone. Welcome back to the course of data structures using C language. This video is brought to you by Newton's Group of Institutions. This is Arvind Egireddy from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. In today's lecture, we will be discussing about the queue data structure. Can you say what is a queue? A queue is an algorithm and simply it is a data structure to arrange the data in a particular format. And it is a linear data structure. That is nothing but the arrangement of the elements will be in the form of linear form, one after another, and it follows a rule, and the complete implementation of the queue is based on this particular rule. That's why we call that queue is an abstract data type. Abstract data type means nothing but set of rules. So here the rule what we are going to follow is first in, first out, FIFO. As we can see, like this, a queue is a data structure where the items are inserted at one end called the rear end and deleted from the other end, which is called as the front. So to implement the queues, we can either use a static array or an dynamic array. Static array means which are of fixed size. That is, we cannot change the size of the array. Whereas in dynamic arrays, we can vary the size. So here, depending on the number of elements we are storing, the size will increase. And if we delete some of the elements, then the size will decrease automatically. So here we can implement the queues either with the help of the static arrays or with the help of the dynamic arrays. Now let us see the structure of the queue. The operations what we can perform on these queues. Suppose for an example, consider that this is a queue and here in this we can store the elements. Then how this queue will be created? For suppose if it is an static declaration, then we can create the queue by using int queue of 5. That is size we have given as 5. So here 5 locations will be created with index number 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now let us see what are all the various operations what we can perform on this particular queues. So on any queue, we can perform 3 different operations. The first one is inserting an element into the queue, insert queue, which inserts an element at the end of the queue. That end is called as an rear end. And the second one is delete an element from the queue. So delete the first element of the queue, that is from the front end. And the third operation what we can perform is a display queue, that is traversing a queue. We display all the elements in the queue, and all these operations we can perform. And how we can perform all these operations means we can perform insertion operation, deletion operation, display operation. So all these operations we can perform by using 2 variables. One is rear variable and the other one is front variable. It's simple. Insertion will be done from the rear end. So this particular end is called as an rear end. And the deletions will be done from the front end. So we can do deletions from this particular end. So here, front and rear, these 2 variables are mandatory. So whenever we are performing the operations on the queue, these 2 variables, front and rear, which are mandatory. So we have to use these 2 variables, front and rear, to perform all the operations on the queue. Now, let us discuss how we can insert and how we can delete an element from a queue. Initially, the queue is empty. So here when the queue is empty, the front and rear should always point to the first location. Therefore, the queue value, when the queue is empty, front value and the rear value both will be equal to 0, pointing to the first location. And note that we cannot move the front value because the front always points to the first location. That is a fixed memory location. The front always point to the 0th location with index value 0. That is, its value will be always equal to 0. Can you say why the rear is also pointing to the first location? Why here the rear which is pointing to this first location? Because no elements in this queue. So front value is 0 and the rear value is also 0. Suppose if you want to insert an element, then we can insert an element only in the rear position. So here, what is the rear position? The rear position is 0. So the rear is pointing to the first position with index 0. So if you want to insert, then we use the rear variable. And if you want to delete, then we use the front variable. So here, the rear variable I am using, which is having the index value 0. Suppose I want to place 10. I want to insert 10 value. So here, when I want to insert the 10 value, after the insertion, the rear position will be moving to the second location. So here, once after inserting the value 10 in the first position, the rear will be moving to the second position. That is, the rear will be moving to the second position. The second position, the index value is 1. That is, the rear value is becoming rear plus 1, which is equal to 1. And if you can see, the front value is always 0. Next, suppose you are inserting the second element, says 20. Here, then after inserting the 20 value, the rear position will change to the next location. That here, the rear value becomes 2. Okay, and suppose now you are inserting the next element, say 30 you are inserting. So you are inserting at the rear position. So rear is pointing to the second position. So when you insert the 30 element, once after inserting the 30 element, the rear position will be changing to the next location. So it is moving to the fourth location with index value 3. Next, when we are inserting the 40 value here, so here the rear will be pointing now to the location 4. So once after placing the 40 value in the third location, it will move to the fourth location. That is with index value 4. And next, when we are inserting the 50 here in the fifth location with index value 4, the rear pointing outside the location. So here now the rear value is 5. The rear value is 5. So whenever we try to insert a new element into the queue, at this particular stage, it will give an error message. What is that error message? Can you say? Queue is full. Because here already all the 5 elements we have filled. Now the queue is completely full with 5 elements. So it will display a message saying that the queue is full. Since the size we have given it as 5, so the 6th element you cannot store. So now what operations we can perform at this particular stage is either we can go for the display operation or we can go for the delete operation. So here, if you want to delete, you can delete only from the front end. So here the front value is 10. So here whenever you try to delete, the 10 will be getting deleted. So general, the people will say after the deletion of the first element, the front we should move to the next location, which is completely wrong. Please understand, whenever you delete an element from the front location, never move the front location towards the right side, next location. The front will always point to the 0th location. The reason is, suppose if we move to the front location next by deleting the 20 element, if I move to the next location, it will move to 30. If I delete the 30 element, it will move to the third location, fourth location. If I delete 40, it will move. If I delete 40, it will again move. So if, in that way, if it is front is and the rear are going towards the end, now if you can see that the queue will be empty because I have deleted 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. But it will display a message saying that the queue is full because I'm moving the front part. So front should never be moved to that particular location. So consider a general example. If you are in the queue for booking a ticket for a movie, the first person who is standing in front of the ticket counter takes the ticket and will come out of the queue line. Then the remaining people, they will move in the same way. So we must shift the remaining all the elements like what we have seen here. So here, once after deleting the first element, what we need to do? We need to shift all the elements like this. So the 50 will be moving to third location, 40 will be moving to the second location, 30 will be moving to next one, and 20 will be moving to the 0th location. So that's the process. So deletion of a front element is nothing but the need to shift all the elements in the queue line and automatically rear also. So now the once after deleting the element, so here what will happen? 20 will come to this particular place, 30 will come to this place, 40 will come here, 50 will come to this place. Of course, 50 will be here only, but the rear will be pointing to this particular location. Why the 50 will be there only? Can you say? We are decreasing the rear value. So whenever we delete one element from the queue, so automatically one location will become empty. And there we can store the new value. As we have already discussed that it is impossible to delete a value which is inside the memory location. That's why the 50 value will be there only. Only thing what we can do is we can overwrite the information. So here it is, these elements are overwritten. So previously it used to be 10. 10 is being overwritten with the 20 value. Previously here in the location, second location with index value 1, there was a value with 20 that is being overwritten by 30. So we can overwrite, but we cannot delete the information. So next time when I try to insert a new element into the queue, then 50 will be replaced with the some other new value. Say suppose if I am replacing with 60, so 50 will go and the 60 will be replaced with the 50 value. So we can overwrite, but we cannot delete. That is replacing the information, and we cannot delete the information which is inside the queue. Not only inside the queue, inside the memory location by using any programming language. So now the rear will again point to the next location. Since I have inserted with the new value 60, the rear will be pointing to this particular location here. Suppose 20 we are deleting. If 20 we are deleting, what will happen? Rear will come to this particular fifth location. When I delete 30, rear will come to the third location. When I delete 40, rear will come to the second location. When I delete 50, rear will come to the first location. When I delete 60, rear will come to the front location. So all the elements I have inserted and all the elements I have deleted. So here, when I delete all the elements, the queue will be empty. So whenever the queue is empty, the front and the rear, they will be pointing to the 0th location. That's the reason whenever you are deleting an element, instead of moving the front to the right side, what you need to do? You need to decrement the rare value and you need to shift towards the left side. So rare will be changing always. The front value will be fixed. The front value will be always pointing to the first location. So whenever the front and rare values become 0, then we say that the queue is empty. So in the beginning also, when we created the queue, the front and rare value are at the 0 location. Therefore, we say that when we create the queue will be empty. Here, there are two problems that are associated with the linear queues. One is, so here we have two problems. The two problems is, one is time consuming, because whenever we are deleting an element from the queue, what is happening? We are shifting the elements. So we are shifting the elements one by one, and we are shifting the rare value by decrementing one value whenever the deletion happens. So it is a time consuming. And the other problem what may arise is, suppose if you are deleting the element and if you are moving the front value towards the right, then it will display the message saying that signaling saying that the queue is full. So even though the queue is having the vacant position, it will display with a signal saying that the queue is full. So these are the two problems that we come across when we deal with queues. Now let us see some of the applications wherein we can use the concepts of queue. So we use queues in scheduling the jobs to be processed by the CPU. And we use queues when multiple users send print jobs to a printer. Then each printing job is kept in the printing queue, so that the printer prints these jobs according to first in, first out, FIFO basis. And the third application where we will be using is, we are going to use in breadth first search to find the elements from the graph. Now, let us see how we can perform the operations on the queue. That is, how we can perform an insertion operation, that is how we can insert an element into an queue, and how we can delete an element from the queue, and how we can display the elements, all the elements that are present in the queue. So now let us see the queue implementation by using the static arrays. So what is the static array means? That is, the queue size will not change and it is fixed. So if the queue size is fixed, then we call it as an static array. So how we can implement these static queues is, first we need to declare the queue, which is the most important part. So how we can declare? We can declare int queue of size. So here we can write the size value directly, that is with 5. Or else, more properly, we can write by using a preprocessor directive like hash define capacity 5. So here this is nothing but it is a preprocessor directive, that is a macro. So macros, we have seen that we need to write with generally we write with the capital letters. So here the capacity is, we have 5. So that capacity we have to write here. So here int q capacity. Since it is an preprocessor directive, that is it is a macro, before compilation time, before compilation only, the capacity, in the place of capacity, it will be replacing the value of 5. So globally, we have to declare the variable with the name q, so that it will get some memory allocation with the size 5 in this case, so that the maximum 5 elements we can insert into the queue data structure. And next we have to declare two more variables. Variable rare for insertion and variable front for deletion. Mostly the queue operations what we can perform are being performed using the two variables. One is rear and the other one is front. Because insertion of an element into the queue is possible by using the rear variable and deletion is possible using the variable front. So we have to declare the two variables like this. Int rear is equal to 0, int front is equal to 0. So here initially both the rear and front are positioned to the first location. And remember one thing, whenever the front and rear they are both equal to 0, then the queue will be empty. Therefore the queue is empty. Since initially we haven't inserted any element into the queue, both variable front and variable rear they are equal to 0. That's the reason the queue is empty. Suppose that this is the queue. So this is the queue with size which is equal to 5 with index values 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Initially the front value is 0 and the rear value is 0. Now let us write the logic for inserting an element into the queue, deleting an element from the queue and traversing an element from the queue parallelly side by side. So inserting the queue can be done by using the function insert queue, deletion can be done by using delete queue, and display can be done by using the traverse queue functions. So these are the three functions what we will be discussing now side by side. Suppose if we want to insert an element into the queue first, so what we need to do? We need to check whether the queue is full or not. We need to check whether the queue is full or not. Because if the queue is already full, then we cannot insert an element into the queue. In the same way, suppose if we want to delete an element from the queue, then we need to check whether the queue is empty or not. Because if the queue is empty, then we cannot delete any element from it. And also similarly for traversing or for displaying the elements, we need to check whether the queue is empty or not. Because if the queue is empty, then what we will display? If the queue have some elements, then we can display those elements. If the queue is empty, we cannot display. So first the condition what we need to check for insertion is whether the queue is full or not. So here we are checking if on some condition. So based on that condition, we don't know whether the condition, what is the condition as of now. Here we are printing that the queue is full. Because this situation will come, but it will come. We don't know as of now what is that particular situation. So that we will write what will be that condition in the later stages. Else what we need to do? We need to insert an element into the queue. In the same way, in case of deletion, so to delete, we need to check on some condition. We need to print that the queue is empty. So we cannot perform the deletion of an operation element from the queue if it is empty. And we cannot perform deletion operation because the queue is empty. Can you say when we cannot delete an element from the queue? When the queue is empty. So when the queue will be empty? The queue will be empty when the front and rear positions, they point to the 0th location. So initially, if they are both the front and rear are positioning to the first location with index value 0, then we cannot insert the element. So here the condition will be front is equal to rear. So when the front value is equal to the rear value, automatically this both will be equal to 0, because I said that the front will be always 0. We cannot change the position of the front. So front always points to the first location with index value 0. So the front value will be, when the front value is equal to the rear, then we need to print the message saying that the queue is empty. So in case of traverse also, we want to display the elements in the queue. So the same story repeats. First we need to check whether the queue is empty or not. If suppose no elements, then we need to print the queue is empty. Here in the insert function, we need to declare one more variable, that is int element. Just read the elements using the scanf function. Of course, we need to print, enter the elements to be inserted. If we are not going to use this message, also it will execute, but we will be confused and we will not know whether what we need to do. So for that, what we are doing, we are printing the message using the printf function, enter the element. So that by using the scanf element, whatever the element that is being inserted, that is being stored into the variable ELE. Now, whatever the element we are reading, so here whatever the element we insert, that need to be read into the queue. So queue of rare is equal to ELE, because here the insertion operation we cannot do on the front. We need to perform the insertion operations on the rare variable. So here the queue of rare is equal to element. Because rare is pointing to this first location, and suppose we are inserting the element 10 say into the queue using the variable rare, then the rare which is pointing to the 0th location. So 10 will be placed here and the pointer will be moving to the second location with index value 1. So here simply what we are doing, once after inserting the value, we are incrementing the rare position. So previously it was rare was 0. Now the rare, after inserting the value 10, it became 1. So here in the logic, what we need to do, we need to write rare plus plus. Rare plus plus. So now the rare which is in the 0, it will be pointing to the first position. So this is the logic for insertion. Suppose if we insert one more element, say 20 into the queue, then what will happen? Then one more time we call this particular insert function. It will check the if condition. So here when it checks the if condition, the queue is still empty. So what it will do, without executing the if block, it will come to the else block. So it will print enter the element, and the element what you entered is 20. That 20 will be sent into the queue of rare. So it will place in the second location with the 20 value, and it will shift the rare to the next location. So here 20 will be placed and the rare will be shifting to the next location. So the rare is being increased. So now the rare is 2. That is, it will shift to the third position with index value 2. In similar fashion, when we insert the third element, say 30 in this particular position, then what will happen? The rare value becomes 3 and it will shift to the fourth position with index value 3. Again, when we insert fourth element, say 40 in this position, the rare value becomes 4 and it will shift to the fifth location with the index value 4. Now once again, if I insert the fifth value, say with the 50, so the 50 will be placed in this particular position and the rare value which becomes 5. So here the rare value, the index value of the rare will be 5 and it will move to the sixth location. So this is the sixth location which is out of the queue and the index value will become 5. So here when we try to insert the fifth element, say 50 in this position, the rare value is becoming 5 and it will shift to the sixth location, which is not present. So here the index value will be 5. So clearly the queue is full. So whenever the rare value which is equal to the size of the queue, that is the capacity, this is the simple insertion. So here whenever the rare value which is equal to the capacity value, we need to display the message saying that the queue is full. So If the rear value is equal to the capacity, we need to enter into the if block, printing the message saying that the queue is full. And until the rear value is equal to the capacity value, we go on increasing the elements into the queue until the capacity which is equal to the rear value. That is, when the capacity which is equal to the rear, the if block will get executed, not the else block, because there is no place in the place to insert the element, next element. So this is insertion of an element into the queue. So now we have no option to insert an element into the queue. So now what operations we can perform at this stage? Either we can perform for the display option, or else we can go for the delete operation. So first let us see the display operation, that is traverse logic. So it's very simple. If you want to display the elements of the queue, first you need to check whether the front value is equal to rear value. So if the front is equal to rear is equal to 0 value, then we need to print the message saying that the queue is empty. Else we need to print queue elements are. So here we are displaying the messaging saying that the queue elements are by using the printf function. So it may have so many elements. To display all the elements, we use the for loop. For I is equal to 0. So here for I is equal to 0, or more clearly for I is equal to front, because front will always point to the 0th location. As we have discussed that the front will always be positioning to the first location with index value 0. Now we are going to display until I value is less than rear, not less than or equal to I value is less than rear. Can you say why I value is less than rear, not less than or equal to rear? So suppose here when the rear is pointing to the 5th location, which is outside the queue. So here it is pointing to this particular location which is outside the queue, and we cannot access this location. So it is less than rear. Then I plus plus, and we are printing the elements percentage D Q of I. So here we are printing the elements. So by using this traverse function, we are displaying all the elements from the front location to the rear location. So we are displaying all the elements. It's very simple. And this is how we are going to display the elements. Now, let us write the logic for the deletion operation. So if here the front value which is equal to the rear, if the front value which is equal to the rear value, then we cannot display any element because the queue will be empty. So if the front value is equal to rear, we cannot display any element because the queue will be empty, or we cannot delete any element since the queue is empty. Suppose here in this case, the queue is not empty. Here the queue is not empty. So we are printing the message saying that percentage D, the deleted element percentage D Q of front. Why? The reason is here that element 10 will be deleted in this particular case. So as we know that it is impossible to delete the data which is inside the memory location. And there is no function which is existing in any programming language to delete the information that is present in the memory location. And the only thing what we do is we will overwrite with the new value. So once after printing the message saying that the deleted element Q of front, actually the deletion is not happening. So here what we need to do, we need to overwrite. How we can overwrite? By shifting one position towards the left. So for that, we are going to use the same story, that is by using the for loop. So we are going to shift the values from right to the left one position by using the for loop. So from first location, so here what we are doing, you see, so for I is equal to 0, I less than rare, I plus plus, the I value is 1. When the I value is 1, here we are at this position. So here this particular 20 value we need to shift to the 0 location. Now my I value is 10. So here the logic is Q of I minus 1 is equal to Q of I. So initially I value is 1. I minus 1 is Q of 0. So in Q of 0, I am placing the value of Q of 1. What is Q of 1? 20. So 20 is being shifted to 0th location. Then again, we are incrementing the value of I plus plus. Now, what will be the I value? I value will be 2. So what I am doing, Q of 2. What is Q of 2? Q of 2 is 30. So this 30 value I am moving into Q of 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is first location. A second location with index value 1. So to this second location, I am shifting the value which is present in the third location. That is with index value 2. The value which is with index 2, that I am shifting to the index value 1. So this is how we can shift the values. It depends on how you are writing the logic. So here, instead of for I is equal to 1, you can write I is equal to 0. So if you write here I is equal to 0, then here I less than rare minus 1, or I less than or equal to rare minus 1. So here the logic will be, and here it will be Q of I is equal to Q of I plus 1. Understood? So here depends on, it is not mandatory that you need to take the I value 0. You can write Q of I value 0. So here Q of 0 is equal to Q of 0 plus 1. That is Q of 1. So whatever the element that is in the second location with index value 1, that you are placing it into the first position with index value 0. So therefore, it depends on how you are writing the logic. So these are the 3 operations what we can perform on the queue: insertion, deletion, and traversing operations. So here, if you can notice that I am not using the functions like is empty and is full. I am writing the logic directly here in the insert function and deletion function and the traverse function. So you can write anywhere. It depends on how you are thinking and how you are presenting your logic. So that's all for now. Thank you. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for the latest notification. For admissions and for any online classes, please contact me at 9494470795. Thank you.